Me, hello Gladelia, how are you? Gladelia, I am well, how are you? Yes, I remember this from Earth. The exchange of pleasantries. We do not do this on Meta. Me, what do you do? Gladelia, because we are more inclined to look at life from an energetic standpoint, and realize that we are consciousness, we dispense with any kinds of pleasantries that relate to being separate. Your people don't. You still believe yourselves to be separate. Me, yes, I've dispensed with my birthday. I'm almost 60, but why celebrate the day you were born when you were born millions of years ago to God? I celebrate that every day. Gladelia, yes, and so it should be. You do pride yourself on being a scorpion, though. Me, I do. Scorpios are tough. They're the phoenix that rises from the ashes, and I certainly have. Gladelia, yes, life is about transformation, and you decided to go from a victim to attaining Christ consciousness in one lifetime. Me, I already have. I'm already a master. I just have to remember how I mastered becoming a master. Gladelia, and you are? Yes, you are getting there. Me, yes, so now let's talk about you. I find it interesting that you were born on Venus but were a changeling or something here on Earth. You don't actually have Earthling DNA, do you? Yet having a child with Akon was important. Why have a child with Akon on Earth when you could have stayed on Venus and done that? Gladelia, well, in fact I did have Earthling DNA. My spirit was removed from my body and placed within a human body. Me, like me. A galactic incarnate. Gladelia, yes, I lived on Venus for many years and then simply reincarnated into an Earthling body as you have done. So I had the soul of an Alpha Centaurian, which in effect is a Venusian, and then moved into an Earthling body. Me, oh, hang on, what am I hearing now? Gladelia, yes, I resumed my incarnation of Gladelia upon my death on Earth. Me, so your soul went back to Venus? Gladelia, and I left Venus and went back to Alpha Centauri to be with Akon. Because our DNA is so similar, there was virtually no adjustment period for me. Me, so your body was held in stasis like Tianya's is for me, waiting for me to re-inhabit it after my death here. Gladelia, yes. Me, it seems like a long way of doing it. Gladelia, laughing, it had to be done this way. We had to get the correct type of DNA to inhabit the Earth body, and this was to be found on Venus, not on Alpha Centauri. Me, oh, okay. So there are more Venusian/Earthling commonalities than there are Alpha Centaurian/Earthling? Gladelia, no, there was a specific bloodline we were looking for. Me, oh, okay. Did Akon do all of this? Gladelia, laughing, although he is a solar specialist, he is well versed in all areas of our science. He has friends too. Me, ah. Yes, we get by with a little help from our friends, don't we? It's interesting that Alpha Centauri and Venus are so similar. I'm hearing it's something like our twin cities we have here, even more so. Gladelia, yes, there are planets that are very similar to each other, and living on one or the other is done with virtually no adjustment. However, Earth tends to be the exception. Me, why? Gladelia, it was made that way. Me, made? Gladelia, yes, planets are created from our minds, and when we have specific purposes for them, this is what is constructed. And you realize that everything is quantum. Me, right. So why is Earth different? What did they want it to be? Gladelia, the Earthling is a Titan, a marvelous version of the galactic human. This was a grand endeavor to create the super being. Me, oh, you have that tendency too, eh? Gladelia, it is inherent in our species to want to perfect ourselves. That is the purpose of incarnation anyway. Me, aha. I gather that E.T.S find us so amazing because Commander Subandal, who I've been speaking to recently, loves to pick my brain. He sits there talking to me for 5 or 10 minutes and watches the array of different emotions I go through, probably quite quickly as well, and marvels that I can go up and down like a roller coaster and still manage any kind of sanity. Gladelia, yes, galactic minds are steadier than the Earthling mind, however the Earthling mind is much more flexible emotionally and mentally than the other galactics. Me, that's pretty amazing. We must have really been something in antiquity. Oh yeah, well, they must have. I wasn't here in antiquity except as an extraterrestrial. Gladelia, the Earthling mind is like the piano keyboard, with its full bass and its full treble range. It has a great range. The mind of the typical galactic focuses more on the treble, if you will, and tends to not be knocked out of sync as quickly as yours do. Me, I gathered that. I see Ivo and Ashta and they're very very patient. I would only wish to be like that. Gladelia, yes, the Earthling mind is more like Mercury and just as responsive. It will flit from high to low to high within seconds. Me, yes, this is what Commander Subban is marveling at. Then he marvels at how I feel thoughts of retribution while caring for the well-being of the hostages we're rescuing, how I can hold a negative thought and a positive thought almost simultaneously. Gladelia, yes. The Earthling range is definitely hard to master, but upon doing so, the power you will hold will be nothing short of spellbinding. But you never hold them simultaneously, only one frequency can be held at a time. Me, are you sure? Gladelia, yes, what you're experiencing is higher and lower mind battling for dominance. You all go through that. Me, true. So I'm curious what you wanted to write in your second book that never got published. Gladelia, there was so much. For the time it was controversial, however much of it is being published now. Your story is unusual, but there are others like you. Me, do you miss Earth at all? Gladelia, miss it? I wouldn't say that. But I love her and hold her in my heart. I send as much positive energy as I can to your world because it is sorely in need of it. Me, yes, I see so many dead evergreen trees now. I never saw them when I was younger. Never. They seem to live forever. I don't know if that's due to the toxins or because of the ascension, but I'd suspect the former. Gladelia, yes, they're dying off. Being choked off of their energy, and the air is so polluted. Me, I did help a grove of trees by sending them white light energy. And for all of you out there, you can send white light energy to the trees, the animals, and the earth to help out. You can also send white light energy to stop the chemtrailing. Gladelia, yes, as much as the GFL is doing to combat the pollution, there is still a lot of it. It is simply a question of your realizing that you have to stop it. And so many are so caught up in the system that is killing them and will kill off their grandchildren, yet they don't stop. Me, yes. There aren't any better options for us at the time. And anyone trying to create better options either gets murdered or they buy them out and swing them to their side. The power of money. Everyone has a price. Gladelia, and so you should not. Never have your price. Realize that the goodness of your people lies in there being no price on your service to them. Never sell out. Those who sell out fall prey to the old system, which is dying off anyway, and thank God for that. Me, only the true bloods forge on. Those who are true of heart. They become the world's next leaders when the vibration is high enough. So many are falling to the wayside now. Being bought out. Gladelia, it's an interesting process to watch from our perspective. It is more positive to us than it looks like to you, I have to say. Me, that's good. Gladelia, there is so much divine/extraterrestrial/universal influence bombarding Earth right now, restoring her life force, counteracting the dark influence. This is wonderful to see. The resurrection of a planet and the restoration of a people to godly beings they once were. It is wonderful. Me, we have a ways to go. If the human mind has to be changed, I'm seeing this go more slowly than I'd like. There's a lot of resistance. Gladelia, and the resistance is the vibration, Let's just say it looks like those who are resistant are being shooed along by the incoming higher energies. They're being made to awaken by virtue of the fact their negativity is being released from their systems. This is painful in the short term, but in the long run the gained power and wisdom of Earth's elders will reinstate itself on your world. Me, good. As long as it works for the good, not the bad. Gladelia, there will most likely be those who fall aside. But they'll be dealt with. Me, that's like snakes and ladders, or having to go back to go again and not collecting your $200. Starting from scratch. Gladelia, if that's what it takes, it may not. Me, so where are the Venusians on Earth? I'd like to meet some. Gladelia, laughing, they're there. There are many positive races that walk amongst you. You wouldn't even recognize them. Me, do they lower their vibration to match ours or not? Gladelia, not. They'd lose their advantage that way. But they're in the influential positions, they're positioned where they need to be to create change and to steer Earthlings in the right direction. Me, just like the dark put people in influential positions to steer us in the wrong direction. Gladelia, yes. The light is simply taking your system and changing it to the light, but it will take time. And patience. Me, yes. That too. Where can I meet a Venusian? Gladelia, laughing, ask for one to come to you and see if you can recognize them. Me, okay. I guess they're busy though. Gladelia, but they can bilocate. Me, I'd like to work with some on Earth. When I get my headquarters set up. Gladelia, you will. You'll meet them then. They'll come to help you. Me, good, I need help. Gladelia, okay, I'll be off now. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to my old brethren, and also a reminder to all to watch my videos on YouTube and to read my book about Akon, From Beyond the Light Barrier. It has much information that you would be searching for. Me, good. Thanks Gladelia. Gladelia, thank you very much Sharon. En go I dag. Afrikaans. Me, tot ziens. Dutch.